Am I live? Hopefully I am. If there are any ninja watchers, if you are here, can I get a good in the chat? If we have volume and if we have sound. Either way, hopefully y'all can hear me. I'm gonna rewind, whether you hear me or not, hopefully. And I'm gonna go ahead and do my intro. Welcome back to Pills, Potions, and Poisons with me, NAllenRx. I'm a pharmacist. But I'm not here in a professional capacity. No, I am not. However, I do have expert level knowledge and information that I can share with you guys. But there's one thing I need y'all to always remember. Always remember this. Y'all know what this is. I'm not your pharmacist. I am not your pharmacist. Not your pharmacist. All right. So who are we talking about tonight? Y'all see him on the thumbnail? It's NBA YoungBoy. Yes. He hails from the city, the magic city, the Red Stick, Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Y'all know that's where that's my stomping ground. His trial was at, not this one, because he got plenty of them. We're gonna get into that. But Baton Rouge, that's where he's from. I love Baton Rouge. I was just in Baton Rouge actually. My sister had a event. She just got inducted to basketball, so shout out to her at Southern University. Don't start asking me questions about how tall I am and how tall is she. Yeah, she tall, but I play basketball too. So, and I wasn't nothing to play with, okay? Not for real. But anyway, so tonight we're in Utah. Y'all, we got to always do our 5th grade social studies, right? So what is it? Utah is known as the what state? It's the beehive state. Like, what's so cool about that? Like, I mean, whatever. They said they call beehive state because the people from there, they consider themselves hard workers, like worker bees. I don't know how true it is. I only kind of passed through there once or twice, maybe. I don't know. But NBA YoungBoy, to me, now y'all let me know if y'all thought about this. As I heard about him and this no contest plea, I immediately thought about Young Thug. Why? I said, are we all going to start risking it all? Are we going to risk it all? Because I think that's what he did. Because, you know, that whole Young Thug thing that it went down like, about a couple weeks ago, it worked out in his favor. But that was because that was the only thing he had like pending. NBA YoungBoy, on the other hand, he had a lot of charges against him. A lot of charges. Press the wrong button. I meant to press this button. He got a lot of charges. A lot of charges. So what we're gonna do tonight, we're gonna look at what he had in front of him, his charges and all that kind of stuff. If y'all remember, one of the outrageous things that NBA YoungBoy was doing was calling in all these prescriptions to these pharmacies, acting like he was somebody old grandma, sending his crew up there, getting his car towed, doing all kind of crazy stuff, getting promethazine with codeine. So he pled no contest to a lot of these charges, but he's still going to end up doing some time. Can y'all believe he got out of doing time on this case? Because he really pretty much got a lot of other stuff going on. So to me, it's kind of like how it is with pharmacy. The stricter law or the stricter situation is the one that kind of rules the situation. So we're going to get into that. But before we do, guys, what I always say, let me see who in this chat. Y'all creeping in here. Y'all know I appreciate y'all when y'all come. What I say? Is that what I do? Regulators. That don't feel like it. Mount up. Who we got in this chat? We got the RPG. I saw you come in here way before it was time. Appreciate you. He give me the flames. The flames are throwing. Yes. Almond eyes. I'll be like cat eyes, almond eyes, eyes. She says, hey, y'all. Lanice, the dame. Hey, the dame. The dame. I feel like you'd be like giving, you're serving, in this thing. Rich say coming in 38 hot, baby. The Rich Turner. Why I do that? Like, you don't do a wrench like that, do you? A wrench is more like this. Either way, you see the wrench in his name. He got the wrench in his name. Everybody else in here, y'all giving hollering everybody else. Let's go and get into it, y'all. Let's get into this. So we're gonna do a little background. We're gonna do that first, and then we're going to go on and listen to this thing, because I'm gonna tell y'all something about these dudes from Louisiana. Okay. Now, Young Thug, when they was reading him all his, rights to him or whatever they was reading him, he was, yes, ma'am. Yes, sir. Yes. I felt like he was truly humbled under God. I did. I believe him. And I'm finna say something about these dudes from Louisiana, because I'm from Louisiana. Sometimes I feel like they could be so disrespectful. I felt like Young Thug, NBA YoungBoy still had a little disrespect in his tone. I could be wrong, but I'm probably right. So let's look at this first. Let me pull this up for y'all. We're gonna look at this and then we're gonna get into it. That's him right there. Shout out to the young boy. NBA YoungBoy never broke again. Y'all see it. That's him. I feel like he had some more children since he been on here last. Y'all ignore the ads, okay? Let me see if I can go in. So, oh, see, off to a good start, y'all. Oh, here we go. All right, here we go. All right, who is NBA YoungBoy? This is for hot off the presses. What's today? Is it the 18th or 19th today? I don't even know. Either way, Louisiana-based rap artist pleaded guilty Monday to his role in a large-scale prescription drug fraud ring. Now, I don't know if this is the same as RICO, but I'm seeing a lot of parallels in NBA YoungBoy situation and Young Thug situation. But y'all let me know if y'all see it. I think that when Young Thug, when he got out of his situation, I think he provoked a lot of thought. He gave a lot of ideas to these other attorneys dealing with these high-profile people and the celebrities. But let's keep going, guys. And please, don't be afraid to use the comment section. It's free, just like the like button, okay? Thank you. All right, so large-scale prescription drug fraud ring that operated out of his multi-million-dollar home in Utah. Rapper NBA YoungBoy, whose real name is Kentrell Gaulden, walked into a courtroom in Logan, Utah, with his head hung low. He was acting, but whatever. As he entered the plea for his part in the alleged scheme. Okay, the 25-year-old, he's just 25. The 25-year-old rapper was originally charged in the Logan District Court 46 charges related to the alleged crime. On Monday, he pleaded guilty to 2 counts of third-degree felony fraud from this Betty White or whatever name he was using. 2 counts of third-degree felony forgery. He forged prescriptions. He used the doctor's name that was in a whole nother county. Don't even write for this kind of stuff. I'm gonna tell y'all this. What matters this is not me giving y'all any tips on how to let me get you down, Rich. Thank you. Thank you for your comments. When y'all are forging these prescriptions, stealing these prescription pass, y'all need to go on. This is not me telling y'all how to do this, but we're gonna know. They're not gonna know. We're gonna know. This doctor is a dentist. He should not be writing you prescriptions for this drug, okay? That matters. Y'all look real crazy when y'all bringing these prescriptions in there that y'all stole, okay? So if you got your tamper-resistant paper, you think you on a roll, you just get some random doctor's name that's from the other side of Utah, or it could be some nurse practitioner. You don't know in this particular state that nurse practitioners are mid-level practitioners and they can't write for these controlled substances. Or, it's so whatever the rule is for that state, it's different laws for this different stuff. So when y'all coming in there thinking y'all just doing something, you thinking stealing a prescription pad or a stamp, or because sometimes some states you can't even use a stamp. Doctor got to have like an original signature on there for certain drugs. You think your hardest part is getting that tamper-resistant paper or practicing forging this doctor's signature? No, that's just the start of it. It's a lot of other little things up in there we look for that we know. Come on now, that is a forgery. Okay. And 6 counts of misdemeanor unlawful pharmacy conduct. He was acting, unlawful conduct. I guess that's all these fake prescriptions. Gaulden entered a no contest plea to the remaining charges. I like to say no low. I think no low sound cooler than no contest. It don't get the same effect. Maybe because my uncle, he always used to be like no low. Okay. Okay. As part of the deal, Gaulden will not serve prison time in Utah. Instead, his 4 felony charges were reduced to Class A misdemeanors, and he was ordered to pay $25,000 fine. Okay. He had that check with him already. We're going to hear it, though. We're going to listen to it. District Judge Spencer Walsh agreed to suspend a prison sentence as Gaulden is expected to serve a substantial 27 months in federal prison for related charges in a case out of Weber County, Utah. He got charges on top of charges. So they like, man, it's enough. Following his release, Gaulden will then be placed on 5 years of federal supervised probation. 5 years. How y'all think? What y'all think? Y'all think he can do it? You think he can do it? I've seen so many times where you have young men and women who have a lot of talent and potential. They can be robbed of that potential when they start to really struggle with their addictions. I don't want that for you. Walsh continued, this is the judge. I'm sure that your future, once you're done with your federal prison time, you could be really successful on federal probation and have a really bright future where you can reach your full potential in every aspect of your life. Best of luck to you, Mr. Gaulden. Thank you. Gaulden of Baton Rouge, Louisiana, also known as YoungBoy Never Broke Again, and has achieved 4 #1 albums on the Billboard 200 and 1 top 10 hit on the Billboard Hot 100. His music includes 38 Baby. Okay, that's what you were saying, Rich? Y'all know I don't be knowing. Keep me up on the game, okay? 38 Baby. Outside today. We outside. And Tyler, the Creator song. What is this? What's your name? Ah, that's cool. Okay, what's your name? On which he is featured with Ty Dolla $ign. I like Ty Dolla $ign. I'm just saying. That collaboration earned them a Grammy nomination in 2022 for Best Melodic Rap Performance. I like that. Okay. Billboard reported only Taylor Swift and rapper Drake had more streams in 2022, despite Gaulden have nearly 0 radio airplay. What? Don't play with him. These young boys, they gonna get that bread, okay? He's selling. Okay, what's this? All right, let's keep going. Okay, that's the end of that. All right, y'all. So let's get into this. We're gonna look at these court at the hearing. Is that what you call it? Hold on. Wait, was I showing that to y'all when I was reading just now? Probably not. Who even knows? I'm sorry, y'all, if I wasn't. Anyway. What is this? All right. And I'm going to be interjecting here and there. So if y'all don't like to hear interjections, you know, the YouTube link going to be in there for you. Okay, to watch. Okay, so hold on just a minute. Let me do this. Hold on, y'all. The way he walked in court and the way he looked back on the thumbnail, it seemed a little sus. I ain't saying he's sus. I ain't saying he don't mean it, but sometimes they don't be meaning it. All right. Y'all let me know if I have sound. Let's add this to the stage. I like to put the captions on as well. Okay. The volume is up.
If you would please state your names for the record.
Jeremy D'Alessino appearing for Mr. Gaulden as well.
So NBA YoungBoy, he got his attorney that's there present with him, but he also looked like he got an attorney that's on a Zoom from that's probably in Louisiana. He's like got guns on him. I do think that they got inspiration from Young Thugs. I could be wrong.
Your Honor, Drew Finley, appearing remotely as well. Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, thank you, gentlemen. Mr. Williams, I understand that perhaps there's going to be a change of plea today. Is that correct?
That is, Your Honor.
All right. Would you go ahead and please state for the record what the plea agreement is that has been reached with the state?
Yes, Your Honor. It is anticipated the client will be entering guilty pleas to counts 2 through 7, count 13, count 16, count 19, and count 22. And
Another thing about NBA YoungBoy, he's a bit of a terrible actor. I'm gonna just say it, because he was pretending to be like some old lady on the phone. And now he's pretending to be humble, you know, with his head down like that. It just feels so like forced, like he's acting. Is it just me? Let me know if it's just me. It could just be me.
there are other parameters to this agreement. Would you like me to put those on the record now?
Yes, please.
Your Honor, it's anticipated that he will enter those pleas as charged. In other words, identity fraud as a third-degree felony with 2 counts, forgery as a third-degree felony, 2 counts, 6 counts of pharmacy fraud, which would be those count 4.
He did all that.
And that's a Class A misdemeanor.
And those are all Class A misdemeanors. There are 6 of those, and all of those the counts I just recited are the ends are all pharmacy fraud cases. We are asking the court for sentencing. I have some specific requests as it relates to sentencing about the language, but the agreement is that my client will pay a $25,000 fine to the court. And Your Honor, I have a cashier's check in hand. I'm holding it now.
See, he came there with that bread on him. He already knew they was going to accept his offer, you know, because Diddy, I feel like he writing a lot of checks that people just refuse to cash.
That I would like to publish to the court at the end of this. Upon payment of that, the state has agreed to a 402 reduction for each of those 4 felony counts. They would all be reduced to Class A misdemeanors, and the case would close at that point in time.
With credit for time served?
No credit for time served, and that has to do with his pending federal sentencing and an anticipated sentence within the Bureau of Prisons. So what we're asking is for the court to give no credit for any time served and to simply close the case.
That's the part that I thought was interesting. Like, just simply close the case. So the time that he served already, like now, is he going to be able to use that when he go to the feds or what? Like, just close it out? What do you mean? I don't know what that means.
Okay. Let's have a counsel just approach and we'll just have a brief discussion at the bench here. I mean, you might. All right. I was able to meet with the attorneys at sidebar and just to try to better understand a global resolution that is happening in Mr. Gaulden's state cases and with his federal case.
Because Kentrell has cases in Louisiana. He got cases in other places in Utah. Mr. Gaulden has a lot. He has been doing a lot of shaking and sticking and moving, okay? He's everywhere with these drugs.
I wanted to better understand.
But it's like, if you have drugs, you got to have the weapons. They got to go together. Don't you? I mean, you got to have them. How can you not? You got these GUNs. You got to have them. How you going to protect yourself? You know, because you got the other stuff.
How that global resolution would play into this case and whether or not the court felt comfortable moving forward with accepting the plea bargain and imposing a sentence in conjunction with the stipulated resolution that the parties have represented to the court. I'm going to give Mr. Williams a chance to put on the record just a little bit more detail about what's happening with the federal sentence and the amount of incarceration that Mr. will be receiving as to why it might make some sense for the court to accept the plea bargain. Go ahead, Mr. Williams.
Your Honor, thank you. I'm happy to do that. Your Honor, the agreement that my client has reached with the government, the federal government, is he's already entered this is a matter of public record. He reached an agreement that has yet to be accepted by the district court. I should qualify that a sentence of incarceration of 27 months in the Bureau of Prisons would be a reasonable sentence. And we're awaiting sentencing on that currently. But the position here is that that is a significant sentence. Candidly, it could be that if he were sent to the Utah State Prison on this, the board may release him far sooner than that. But he's going to do this 27 months within federal custody, which is why we're asking the court to follow this recommendation and this plea agreement that we've reached of just closing the case now. Then he can go and remain in federal custody and go do that time when that sentence is handed down.
Thank you, Mr. Williams. Mr.
Your Honor,
Keller, is there any?
Your Honor, if I may, I'm sorry.
You may.
Thank you so much. Mr. Delacino and I have been communicating. One thing we want to bring up, and that is that in our negotiations, which have been extensive with Mr. Keller, one of the things that we talked about that there would be a no contest, and I'll let Mr. Williams explain that in person, but that these would be entered no contest. And Mr. Delacino and I just wanted to make sure that was clear with the court.
Okay, thank you for helping me better understand that, Mr. Finley. Mr. Delacino?
And Your Honor, not to gang up on the proceedings here with the three of us, but I would add to something that Mr. Williams said, which is that not only does the federal resolution contemplate a 27-month prison sentence, but it also contemplates a consecutive term of 60 months of supervised probation. So there will be a probation.
So is that another one of his attorneys? I'm sure Kentrell by him, I'm sure.
Component to that sentence as well that will follow the custodial sentence.
And as part of that federal probationary period, would Mr. Gaulden be required to, I assume he would be subject to probation searches that would involve ensuring that he is not possessing or using any dangerous weapons, such as firearms, likewise, no illegal drugs or alcohol, things of that nature?
That's correct, Your Honor. And federal probation sort of unique animal in the sense that it's akin to probationary terms in state, which is.
It's crazy because they didn't have anything like in place. They don't have rehab for these people. And I'm like, y'all expect them to be away from guns? I mean, GWIs and drugs and alcohol, and y'all don't have any kind of treatment. I think the only one that I remember from the YSL trial was well, only one of them maybe had something in place like for like rehab or treatment or something like that. Because I know they're using stuff in jail. We know that.
To say that they could impose the entire sentence that it was initially available to impose if there were to be a violation, but he would have federal probation officers for that period of time.
And Your Honor, I would just add to that too, built within the federal code is any violation of probation that includes possession of a controlled substance requires automatic revocation of the term of probation.
So let me pull it down real quick. Somebody who was so deep into the drugs, like he ain't like the YSL people, okay? He was like literally getting his own stuff, like forging prescriptions, forging doctors' signatures, all kind of fake prescriptions, fake names, identity theft, all of this, taking pictures with solo cups and styrofoam cups stacked on top of each other with full of lean. Like this what NBA YoungBoy was doing. And they're saying he got to go 5 years on probation after doing the 27 months in the feds. People always be like club feds. So they make me feel like it's kind of chill in there. Or they, it's not that bad. I mean, I don't know. I ain't never been in jail. Jail probably just bad anyway. I'm sure it is. Prison, jail. I don't know. But they make club feds sound like it ain't as bad as regular prison or somewhere like where Diddy is right now. I don't know. But he got to go 5 years on probation after doing the 27 months. His attorney just said he can't get caught with any controlled substance. There will be automatic revocation or whatever. He got to have at 5 years with no controlled substances. I know people, these addicts, and that's just what it is. These people who have an addiction to, they will go and break their own arm. They will throw their head into a wall. They will slam their head with a hammer. They will doctor shop. They will do whatever. He will probably pull his own tooth out. Who even knows? He can't. But I guess, would there be some kind of like asterisk at the bottom or some kind of, I don't know, some kind of loophole to where he can, if he's injured and he has to get a prescription, narcotic controlled substance, something. I don't know if Kentrell can make 5 years probation. I don't know. That's a long time to not have none of that. I'm gonna go back just a little bit. I want to make sure we heard him. Automatic. Okay.
Probation that includes possession of a controlled substance requires automatic revocation
That's
of
what
the
they're
term
saying.
of probation. So there is a lot riding on our client doing well after the Bureau of Prison Time and then for 5 years on probation.
Very well. Anything further that you would like to put on the record at this time, Mr. Keller?
Your Honor, just briefly, the state is in agreement with the plan of action that's being set forth before the court. This is somewhat of a unique case where there have multiple jurisdictions in the federal and in the state systems. There's been conversations across all parties and across the representatives for the government in each of those cases as well to ensure that a proper disposition is reached globally across these cases. And so this is just really a smaller cog in the bigger wheel of ultimately seeking justice against Mr. Gaulden.
I assume then that the Weber County case, which I understand there's a charge in Weber County or maybe charges, is that going to be part of this global resolution as well?
That's correct, Your Honor. There have been conversations with Weber County, and it's my understanding, I believe, that plea has already been taken in Weber County.
That case has been dismissed. That gave rise to the federal case. So same conduct. There's been a plea entered in federal court. The state dismissed their charge.
Very good. Thank you. All right. Mr. Gaulden, have you had enough time to speak to your attorneys about this decision to enter into this plea bargain?
Yes.
Have they gone over with you the rights that you would be waiving by accepting this plea bargain and entering no contest pleas and being sentenced today and having this case closed?
Yes.
He ain't giving
Do you
Jeffrey
understand
Williams.
that
This is not important. And this is me. I'm from Louisiana. I can say what I want about NBA YoungBoy. I probably know for some of his family. Anyway, he ain't get Kentrell Gaulden ain't giving Jeffrey Williams. Jeffrey has a nice name, Kentrell is a nice name too. I got a couple little cousins named Kentrell, but Kentrell ain't giving what Jeffrey, He just don't. I hear it. I hear the yes. I just whatever. Anyway.
no contest plea has the same effect as a guilty plea in a lot of ways. The court will sentence someone on a no contest plea the same as it would a guilty plea, although you would still be maintaining your innocence. You would acknowledge that the government has sufficient evidence to meet each and every element of the charges that you would be pleading no contest to.
Yes.
Mr. Gaulden, are you under the influence of any drugs or alcohol today?
No.
Are you on any medications right now?
No.
Are you thinking clearly today and understanding everything that's happening in court?
Yes.
Has anybody forced you or coerced you to get you to accept this plea bargain?
No.
Are you pleading no contest today because you believe that the government does have sufficient evidence to be able to prove each of these each of the 10 charges that you would be entering a no contest plea to today beyond a reasonable doubt.
No.
Are you acknowledging that even though you're maintaining your innocence, that the government would still be able to prove these charges in court potentially, and so you believe it's in your best interest to accept a plea bargain?
No.
I wonder who told him.
In order for me to accept,
I wonder if somebody told him to hold his head down like that. Who said that? Like, it just seemed too much.
your no contest plea, I just need to better understand.
But he been up in Utah for a minute, so he might know how he need to act up there.
To make sure that you are acknowledging that the global resolution of these cases is in your best interest, and that there is some basis for you to be accepting the plea bargain. There is some evidence that you believe would justify you accepting the plea bargain. Are you able to acknowledge that?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Has he been able to sign that statement of defendant supporting his no contest plea?
Your Honor, I did not know the court's policy. I'm going to have this before Your Honor.
Very good.
Is he from Louisiana? Judge got his what you call them, cuffs?
If I could approach.
Just hand that to the bailiff, please. Thank you. Mr. Gaulden, I just want to make sure that you have reviewed and read this entire document, which is entitled Statement of Defendant Supporting Your Plea and Certification of Counsel. Have you read this document?
Yes.
Do you have any questions about the rights you would be waiving by accepting the plea bargain?
No.
Okay. Let's have a factual basis to support the 10 charges he's pleading to.
Your Honor, the defendant is ultimately criminally responsible, particularly under Utah Code 76-202, for a large-scale prescription drug fraud ring that has been known to have acquired various prescription medications, specifically promethazine with codeine, which is a cough suppressant that's a heavily abused Schedule 5 controlled substance in the state of Utah. And those were secured from multiple pharmacies in Cache County, as well as other pharmacies in northern Utah. Mr. Gaulden had acted with others in this criminal activity, particularly where there were 2 co-defendants, which were recently had their cases resolved before this court. And those co-defendants were intercepted as they were trying to pick up the fraudulent prescription at Larry's Pharmacy in Smithfield here in Cache County. Those 2 individuals were using Mr. Gaulden's vehicle to make the pickup, and they were detained by law enforcement. And shortly thereafter, someone contacted law enforcement pretending to be an elderly woman to whom the fraudulent prescription belonged.
That's what he was doing when they was calling in a prescription, and he was acting like he was some old grandma. I told you I wanted to hear the recordings, but you know, since he gonna go ahead and plead out, now we don't get to hear all the evidence.
The prescription was listed to be for a Gwendolyn Cox, but this elderly woman, who was clearly someone pretending to be an elderly woman, said her name was Gwendolyn White and couldn't provide a birth year. This is important because fraudulent names such as Beatrice White, Bethel White, Carolyn White, Harriet White, Anna White, and Gwendolyn White were all being used through this scheme. There were 2 other pharmacists here in Cache County that immediately recognized this fake elderly woman's voice from that phone call as the same person who had called into their pharmacies checking in on a prescription under some of those aforementioned names for promethazine with codeine. And all of these prescriptions had been called in by someone portraying themselves to be a Dr. James Woodmansey, who is a legitimate doctor in the Provo, Utah area, but he was contacted by law enforcement, and several of these other prescription outlets, and he had verified that these were all fraudulent prescriptions that he had not authorized. Ultimately, Mr. Gaulden ended up in contact with the detective investigating this case when he was trying to get his vehicle out of impound after it was taken from the Larry's Pharmacy incident. During that phone call, Mr. Gaulden had engaged in a conversation with a third person and had stated, ask him about the prescription they picked up. At that time, it became clear that Mr. Gaulden had some involvement beyond simply lending his vehicle to be used, where he had some knowledge of the fraudulent prescription being retrieved. In addition, there was one prescription called in for Kentrell Gaulden, but the date of birth for that prescription was in 1953, which was clearly a false date of birth and is consistent with some of those.
It's like, is this embarrassing for his attorney to have to say that? I got like secondhand embarrassment just listening to this. But anyway.
Date of births used with the false elderly women names throughout this fraudulent scheme. That prescription was picked up by an individual who was intercepted by law enforcement. Shortly thereafter, promethazine with codeine, along with other prescriptions, had been called in to that same pharmacy for Mr. Gaulden, utilizing his accurate date of birth. Mr. Gaulden, however, while he was on a federal probation, was only afforded a single doctor to issue prescriptions with a single pharmacy, and the doctor who called that prescription in was inconsistent, and that pharmacy was inconsistent with those which had been allowed through probation. In the end, there was a search warrant executed on Mr. Gaulden's residence. Law enforcement found a prescription bottle in Mr. Gaulden's bathroom inside the master bedroom. The bottle was for a Caroline White, one of the known fraudulent names, with the corresponding prescribing doctor who had confirmed the fraud. The prescription was for doxycycline, and the prescription bottle was consistent with the time frame and patient information for the promethazine with codeine that had also been picked up, according to a subsequently gathered Doppel report. Also in the bathroom was a prescription for doxycycline to Kentrell Gaulden, also prescribed by the same doctor and previously confirmed as fraud. This is consistent with the promethazine with codeine that had been prescribed with Kentrell's fake date of birth, and a prescription bottle of promethazine with codeine was also found inside the defendant's bathroom with no prescription label on the bottle. And a further search of the defendant's residence yielded
Kentrell had this stuff everywhere.
3 more bottles of promethazine with codeine. More specifically to these counts, Your Honor, on September 19th of 2023, Reed's Pharmacy in Hiram received a prescription called in for a Bethel White with a claimed date of birth of November 10th of 1949. On September 19th, 2023, Spence's Pharmacy received a similar phone call for a Gwendolyn Cox with a fraudulent date of birth. On October 9th, 2023, Spence's Pharmacy received such a phone call with a fraudulent name. Cache Valley Pharmacy in North Logan had a prescription called in for a fraudulent individual. And on January 17th, 2024, Larry's Pharmacy in Smithfield received a call also from a fraudulent individual. Cook's Brothers Pharmacy in Providence in Cache County had a fraudulent prescription called in, and the Budge Clinic Pharmacy in Logan also had a fraudulent prescription called in. So ultimately, for each time a prescription was called in, there were 3 separate offenses: identity fraud, attempting to procure a prescription, and forgery. The identity fraud includes the use of a real physician's identifying information, that of Dr. The procurement of a prescription includes having other people procure or attempt to procure the prescriptions through deceit and lying about relationship to the patient. And the forgery includes the act of authenticating the writing or the prescription in each instance, which purports to be the act of that Dr. James Woodmansey.
All right, thank you, Mr. Keller. That is a sufficient factual basis to support each of these 10 charges. Mr. Gaulden, to the charge of identity fraud, a 3rd-degree felony, 2 separate counts, how do you plead to both of those charges? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest.
To the charge of forgery, a 3rd-degree felony, 2 separate counts, both of those being 3rd-degree felonies, how do you plead to those 2 charges?
No contest.
To the charge of
I mean, don't no low sound way cooler than no contest. No contest is like,
pharmacy fraud, a Class A misdemeanor, 6 separate counts. How do you plead to each 6 of those charges?
No contest.
The court finds that you have knowingly and voluntarily entered your no contest pleas. I've signed the statement of defendant and will now enter that into the record. You have the right to be sentenced in not less than 2 days and not more than 45 days. It's my understanding that you would like to waive time for sentencing and be sentenced today. Is that correct, Mr. Gaulden?
Yes.
Okay. Let's hear first today from Mr. Williams or any of his attorneys. I think I understand based on the negotiated settlement that the attorneys with the state, Mr. Gaulden, agreed to ordering that he pay a fine in the amount of $25,000.
Correct.
And that once that's been paid, which you do have a cashier's check, that the court reduced the 4 felony charges pursuant to 7-3-402 down to 4 Class A misdemeanors, and that then the court should just close his case.
That's correct, Your Honor. And unless the court has any questions of me, I'm happy to submit if the court's comfortable with that.
I am comfortable with that. I don't have any questions, but I will give you a chance if you'd like to state anything further for the record.
Just procedurally, I understand that it does take time for minute entries to be updated. I, as I indicated, have a cashier's check in the amount of $25,000. In fact, Mr. Keller has been kind enough it was mailed to his office, hold that for a couple of weeks for us. I'm asking the court to enter that order, reducing those now and closing the case, anticipating that I can give this to some court staff before I leave.
Sure.
So as if we're treating it as if it's been paid, I'm holding it now. I just don't know who to give it to.
Okay. Angie, how long does that? On the way down. Yeah. All right.
will
So
do
after
that.
we're done with the sentencing here today, you can just go down to the front counter and pay that fine.
Thank you.
Anything further that his counsel online need to put on the record? I think I understand the global resolution, but if you'd like to put anything further on the record, you can do so now.
No, Your Honor.
Anything from the state, Mr. Keller?
The state will submit based on that stipulated agreement. Thank you.
All right, Mr. Gaulden, the court is going to impose a fine in the amount of $25,000 in order you to pay that today. It does appear that you do have a cashier's check in that amount now. And so based upon the stipulation between the state of Utah and Mr. Gaulden, the court will reduce his 4 felony counts on the identity fraud and the forgery down 1 step to Class A misdemeanors pursuant to Utah Code 76-3-402. And your case will close. Now, the reason that the court is willing to sentence you to just the fine and then closing the case, Mr. Gaulden, is because it's been represented to me that there is a global resolution between federal prosecutors and state prosecutors, whereby you will be serving a substantial amount of time in federal prison, apparently 21 months, and after which 60 months of supervised probation, where you'll be monitored to make sure that you're doing well in your active recovery and that you are staying out of trouble and not having any dangerous weapons, including firearms, in your possession. Mr. Gaulden, I've seen so many times that good men and women who have a lot of talent and potential, that they can be robbed of that potential when they start to really struggle with their addiction. So I don't want that for you. You seem like a very talented young man. I'm hoping in your future that once you're done with your federal prison time, that you can be really successful on federal probation and have a really bright future where you can reach your full potential in every aspect of your life. Best of luck to you, Mr. Gaulden.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor. That's all I have, if I could
Okay.
excuse.
All right, y'all. They let Kentrell out. They let him get out of there. Oh, hold on while I say it. Y'all know what it was. Okay. Yeah. Hold on, y'all. Let's cheer that up. They let that's what? Okay, hey y'all. Hold on. Let me get out of this. Okay. Well, let me do this. I got something else I'm gonna show y'all. Y'all know it ain't over. Not yet. All right, let's see. Y'all get in this chat. Let me know what y'all think. They let our guy Kentrell. He got out, call these people. I like to call him by their stage name, because it's like, don't ever be Kentrell. You always NBA YoungBoy. Y'all know how I am about that. But you know, you on your show, you on the show. Okay. RPG, you have wait, let me go back up right here. Living Out Loud, the podcast. She says, hey Doc, I hope all is well. All is well. You know, we're getting better every day. I'm still coming on here. Okay. Yes, thank you. Thank you for getting to the chat. RPG. What are you laughing at? He says, damn, no low sounds better. Y'all know it. When you hear that no low, it's like I'd rather that no contest. And NBA YoungBoy, I knew it. I didn't. We didn't get to hear these. We didn't get to hear his. But you know, he was calling the pharmacist, calling them fake prescriptions. We didn't get to hear him, but I know he was overacting. He wasn't serving like he's like overacting in the court today with his head down the whole time. You like, is he being respectful or is he being disrespectful? You never know with these dudes from Louisiana. And I'm going to talk about it. Because I'm from Louisiana. I'm related to them. I know them. I have dated them. I'm friends with them. I didn't marry them, but you know, whatever. I know them. And it's like, what are you doing? You overselling, Kentrell. Stop it. But he should have been saying no low. No low. Yes. Yes, sir. No, ma'am. Anyway, Mr. CKB, what's up? What's up? To know if he learned anything from this. He's 25 years old. I'm going to say this. He's 25 and he got about 27 kids and he ratchet. That's what they say about Roach. He ratchet. He a bad boy. They didn't say he was going to rehab. He wasn't trying to go to rehab. They say that. They just said, you know, close this case out. And you tell me, Mr. CKB, like, what does that mean? You know, he's not your attorney. You know, he ain't my attorney either. But I put team, you know, they volunteer. They get voluntold to be on my team and my legal team. So he's getting voluntold. But I don't think he learned it. I don't think he learned it. He's like, man, this all right. They just closed the case out. So it's like, they just gonna, I'm thinking like, since the federal stuff, you know, has, you know, they're stricter, they have higher, whatever. I don't know, jurisdiction. I don't know what this is. This is a drug channel. I told y'all that. But I don't think he learned nothing. I don't think he learned anything. I think he came in there, he got what he wanted because he already had his check made out because he knew they was going to accept it. He went to Utah just in case something like this already happened because he already got charges other places. Him and Yaya Mayweather was having a fight. He got all these weapons. He got all these drugs. He got all these kids. Not that the kids matter. I mean, they do. You know, y'all know what I'm talking about when I say that. But I don't. RPG agrees with me. I don't know. 25K. That's all. Because if you NBA YoungBoy, sign me up. That's me. 25K. I had that here. Gone where I signed it. He had a check already written out. Cashier's check already signed. RPG says, sir, I'll stop everything if you let me walk right now. I ain't doing that narcotic. I told y'all I was through with that. Life tinctures. You sound like you in the pharmacy. Tinctures in the apothecary, whatever. You know, 20. The judge was a player, really. Okay, because it was like, he was talking that talk, and he was like, okay, that's what he gonna do? Yeah, I like that. And good luck, young man. Proceed. You're talented. You is important. You is somebody. Now go on out here, get your life together. I wish you good luck. We're going to pray for you. Okay? He was acting like he was going to Utah anyway. We knew he was full of mess. He's going to Utah because he said he's thinking about joining the Mormon church. And, you know, this was a good place for him to get his life together. There ain't nothing but space and opportunity up in Utah to get into whatever. I'm going to just say it. Whatever. I've been to Utah. I spent a night in Utah. When I told y'all before me and my friend drove to Oregon. When I went up there, first time we ain't drive back, though, I had to ship my car back because it's too long to be in a car like that. Okay, 27 kids, that's all. Again, don't sign me up for 27 kids. They worse. I ain't got time for that. Okay, but the next thing we're going to do, y'all know, this has become, you know, a part of the stream. It's not our trusty old drug fact sheet this time from the DEA, because at this point, I don't know if I can trust the DEA. I don't know if they're a reliable source or not. But let me show y'all where we're going to be going to. Hold on. I have to share the screen again. Let's see. 27 kids. Who don't want 27 kids? Don't we all? We all want them, right? We want them. Do we want them? We don't want them. You know, the kids overrated. Can we choose that? And this is what Utah Board of Pharmacy, shout out to them. So I came on here. Let me get these 27 children out here. Do y'all say children or do y'all say children? Okay. So we need to look at their Board of Pharmacy, their laws and their rules. Some of these things that were violated by our dear Kentrell Gaulden, also NBA YoungBoy, also YoungBoy never broke again, okay? Because that's just how he rolls. So we went to the Utah Controlled Substances Act, the rules, whatever. If I were to be studying for this pharmacy license for this state right here, well, if they let me reciprocate, my main license, my primary license is in Louisiana. Now it's in Mississippi. Then I reciprocated to a couple of the states. If I keep doing this, I'm going to get another license in another state, okay? This is Utah. If I was studying this, I would go here, okay? I would need to know their rules and regulations. So we heard a couple things that our dear Kentrell got, well, I don't know. He pled no contest to. Okay, so one thing was what? This is right here is a list of penalty. So if you get caught, I'll talk about this first. Something I saw. Well, I mean, y'all might not like this. Well, he had bottles. I don't know if I told y'all about this before, and I think I did do a stream about this. Where like this lady, she had a prescription in her car, her bottle, it had a label on it with her name on it, but there were other drugs inside of that bottle that didn't belong there. You know how these people be like, you know, hoarding their pills and like, okay, I don't want all these containers. I'm gonna put some in here, you know, I'm gonna put my one Adderall in here, my blood pressure medicine, and I'm gonna take that container with me and I'm gonna take my Adderall, you know, later on, but it needs to be in the right bottle. Depending on the state, if you can get arrested for that, what kind of trouble you can get to. So this right here, this is section 7 of the Utah Controlled Substances Act. It's about labeling and packaging controlled substances, information pamphlets for opiates, naloxone education, blah, blah, blah. Oh, sorry. Let me maximize the screen again. Okay, so this really starts out telling us what we need to do as pharmacists or dispensers of medication. This is what it has to have on it, okay? If it don't have this on there, it's going to be looking like a forgery and you could probably get in trouble. We're going to automatically do that because I work for a chain pharmacy. They ain't playing about this kind of stuff. It's going to print out on the label automatically. But for those people who got these small pharmacies or those of you who are trying to forge prescriptions, this is it. A person's license pursuant to this act may not distribute a controlled substance unless it is packaged and labeled in compliance with the requirements of Section 305 of the Federal Comprehensive Drug Abuse Prevention and Control Act of 1970. No person except a pharmacist for the purpose of filling a prescription shall alter, deface, or remove any label affixed by the manufacturer, okay? Whenever a pharmacist sells or dispenses a controlled substance on a prescription issued by a practitioner, the pharmacist shall affix the label, affix to the container in which the substance is sold or dispensed. So if somebody is out here carrying a bottle of promethazine with codeine that does not have a label on it, and well, it don't matter if they're a pharmacist or not. If you out here, you got a bottle of like all those bottles that were at Young Thug's house. That I told you, I said, this is from the manufacturer. How did he get those? They had like two or three little 4-ounce bottles, maybe 6-ounce bottles that somebody got when they fake cough and they got a prescription for promethazine with codeine. And I still never figured out what that baby bottle was all about. But the fact that they had like a manufacturer bottle, I knew right away, this is a problem. You got a 16-ounce bottle of promethazine with codeine, just in a bag with about 33 other ones, and there's no label, and this is not a pharmacy, this is your home and under your sink, what are we doing? And this is what should be on the label, okay? The pharmacy name, address, serial number, and the date of initial filling. Y'all don't know that. When y'all faking y'all prescriptions, we like, this don't have no date on here. This don't have nothing on here. What is this? What is this? That's what we do when we see it. Okay, like this is a fact. This is not real. Who is this doctor anyway? Oh, are you serious right now? That's how we be. But y'all like, oh, we got them. You don't got them. You don't got them. Okay, the prescription number, the name of the patient, or if the patient is an animal, the name of the owner of the animal. See, in Mississippi, we don't have to, well, we don't for like pet meds. At the pharmacy I work at, we don't do a whole lot of pet meds. They do a lot of them at Walmart, places like that. But we just have a name for the pet on there. But evidently in Utah, you have to have for your animal. Well, it's not on the label. We do have to put the owner's name on the profile though. Okay. The name of the owner of the animal and the species of the animal. We got to have that too. Like it's canine, if it's feline. The name of the practitioner by whom the prescription was written, directions, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Whenever the pharmacy sells or dispenses a Schedule 2 or Schedule 3 controlled substance that is an opiate. First, I'm thinking, if I'm studying this, why is 2 and 3? Because what about 4 and 5, controlled substances? Because they just said that in Utah, promethazine with codeine is a Schedule 5. But whatever. Controlled substance that is an opiate, the pharmacy shall affix a warning label to the container or the lid for the container in which the substance is sold or dispensed that contains the following text: caution, opioid, risk of an overdose and addiction. Any other language that is approved by the Department of Services. So that's another thing. Okay. Some states, you got to do a consultation on all the drugs, everything you sell, new, old, refill, whatever. Depends on the state. These people are saying on certain drugs, this is because of this opioid epidemic. On Schedule 2 or 3 opiates, you got to put this caution on there. That means you got to consult the patient too. Okay. Beginning January 1, 2024, offer to counsel the patient, or the patient's representative on the use and availability of an opiate antagonist as defined in Section 26B-4-501. That's the naloxone stuff. In my state, we got a standing order for naloxone. This is not mandatory, but it's like you got to offer it to them. Like, this is another thing that's gonna hold me up. Then these people like, what about your verifiable promise time? It's like, well, I talked to every other person about every single thing. They ain't gonna make the time. They come back in 15 minutes. Okay. Offer to dispense an opiate antagonist as defined in this section to the patient or the patient's representative under a prescription from a practitioner or under 26B if the patient receives a single prescription for 50 morphine milligram equivalents, MME, or more per day, calculated in accordance with guidelines developed by the United States Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. Now, ours is 60 in my state. We have to offer it. It's not written out plain like this, but it's understood that we do 60 MME. We offer naloxone. It's being dispensed an opioid, and the pharmacy dispensed a benzodiazepine to the patient in the previous 30-day period, or is being dispensed a benzodiazepine and the pharmacy dispensed an opioid to the patient in the previous 30-day period. So benzos and opioids 30 days apart, they need to get that naloxone. A pharmacy, who sells or dispenses a Schedule 2 or Schedule 3 controlled substance that is an opiate shall, if available from the Department of Health and Human Services, prominently display at the point of sale the informational pamphlet developed by the Department of Health and Human Services under this section. We should put I wonder if this pamphlet is the same thing as the med guide. We be throwing them things away. Y'all don't be reading them. We don't be throwing them away. We staple them right to the bag. Okay. Sometimes I just be talking, big brother. I didn't mean that. We follow all the rules explicitly. Okay. Where was I? A person may not alter the face or remove any label so long as any of the original contents remain. So if you be like riding around with your promethazine with codeine and it's your prescription and it's valid, don't be like, I'm just gonna take this off of here. I don't want to see this label on this bottle. It's like, why you don't? So these people say, if you take the label off, you got a problem. Okay, another thing I just thought about with this, Kodak Black. I just did a Kodak Black stream just like 2 days ago. And I did another one a couple months ago. And he got caught with some, I think it was oxycodone. I don't know. Percocet, I don't know what it was. Yeah, because they thought it was cocaine, but it was gold metal flour. It wasn't gold metal flour. It was oxycodone, but they said it was cocaine. They thought it was cocaine. Anyway, he was like, he went to court. He missed his first court date. Yeah, he missed getting his drug test. He went back to get drug tested. He tested positive. Crazy. Like, it's like, why didn't you just go the first time? You was going to be testing positive anyway. But they said he has a valid prescription for this. What is a valid prescription? All that stuff that I just named has to be present, right? But it also shouldn't be, well, I was going to say expired. Because these, a lot of these controlled substance prescriptions, it depends on the state. They expire in 6 months. But he had some kind of dental procedure, they say, in February of that year. And I don't know what they probably just gave him a few days worth. So they said that prescription he brought in July, August was the same one he had from February. And they let him use that. Technically, it was a valid prescription, but was it? Why did you take that? Did you have another procedure? No, you didn't. Why don't you have a more current prescription? These are the kind of questions I need the answers to. But so if he on there like us trying to change the date on the prescription, like say it was dispensed in July, but he's like trying to change it to August because he's like, oh, I got this last week, but you didn't get it last week. You got it like 6 months ago. So if you do any of that, you're in trouble too. But it's like the people in court, they don't know. So they probably looking at forged prescriptions all the time. I mean, whatever. Okay, so an individual to whom, what is this? An individual to whom or for whose use any controlled substance has been prescribed, sold, or dispensed by a practitioner and the owner of any animal for which it's another. This is something else too. People be like refilling their pet meds because like some of the medications, they're human medications, but the vet wrote it for the animal. I'm like, you calling in a whole lot for this trazodone for this dog. Stop it. You need it tonight. You need it tonight. And no, you can't get no emergency supply on this. No, I'm not doing it. Anyway, or dispensed by a veterinarian may lawfully possess it only in the container in which it was delivered to the individual by the person selling or dispensing it. Keep the drugs in the original container. You get an amber vial, you get these bottles, whatever it comes in with your prescription label on it, keep it in there or you're going to get in trouble. Y'all don't listen to me. I tell y'all a lot of useful stuff. One of these days, y'all going to listen. It is a defense to a prosecution. What? See? Under this subsection that the person being prosecuted produces in court a valid prescription for the controlled substance or the original container with the label attached. So don't take the label off of it anyway. If you take the label off of it, and you be trying to come to the pharmacy where I'm at because your job, this ain't got nothing to do with the courts, but your job need to know how you tested positive for this particular substance. Can I get a copy of the prescription? Some of these pharmacists be acting crazy. They don't want to give you a copy. It's like, hey, giving people a copy of this stuff. They can lose their job. And they be like, well, do you think this Crestor could mess up my test? Your cholesterol medicine? I don't know if they're going to take that. That ain't, I don't think that's what that is. You tested positive for cocaine. Then the cholesterol medicine, no, it didn't do that. It didn't do that. Okay? Y'all need to put these comments in the chat. Let me know what y'all thinking out here, okay? Let me know. Yes. Okay, RPG. Oh, y'all, that dude is an animal. He is a beast. He doesn't care. When I tell y'all about these people, I don't care. You from Louisiana? I'm from Louisiana. I know these dudes. I grew up with them. I know them very well. He talked to Floyd Mayweather like that. He'll talk to Mike Tyson like that. He don't give a damn. He doesn't care. He don't care. And he from Baton Rouge too? He does not care. You is smart. You is important. Please tell him again. Tell him again. 27 kids is a whole classroom. They probably need to split their classroom into two. Because it's almost too many kids to be in one classroom, to be honest. Seriously. Adderall and blood pressure meds is insane. I mean, it is true. Because, Adderall can increase your heart rate, and it can like affect your blood pressure. So, they probably throwing it all in the same thing, David Bourne. Hey, welcome back to the chat, David. Y'all know I be normal up in here. Got a memory like an elephant. I told y'all that. I never forget. Okay, so next up, we're going to go back to this Utah Board of Pharmacy. Yes, we are. And what else? What is this? Okay, these are the penalties. Oh, can y'all see that? I didn't even try to zoom it in a little bit. Ooh, look at her. Look at her. She did that. Okay, look at me. Okay, this right here, these are the prohibited acts and penalties. So when they say up to but not less than whatever, let me take this out here. When they say up to less than, oh, I missed all this. Prescriptions don't expire. You think they don't? These people be using all kind of stuff. These pills been under their bathroom sink. They be like, do y'all take them back? I put some peroxide up in here. I drop these down wherever, and they do expire. Okay, it's like, can I take these from 2 years ago? No, I wouldn't take them if I were you. I wouldn't. But yeah, they let what's his name bring that old prescription up in the courthouse down in Florida, talking about, yeah, here go my prescription right here. I got it from the dentist. I had got a procedure, and it's like, but why were you pulled over on the side of the road in your Bentley SUV 7 months later, sleep with these pills crumpled up in your mouth and pill residue all on the side of your face? And then we see him, that was in August of this. I can't remember. This is November. He up there catching pills in his mouth on another stream. So, and then talk about be sober for what? Turn down for what? This right here, that's all. Okay, let's get back to it, y'all. Okay, so these are the prohibited acts and the penalties. Okay, prohibited acts A, penalties and reporting. All right, here we go. Let's get into it. Y'all need to know this. Y'all don't listen. Prohibited acts A. Okay, except as authorized by this chapter, it is unlawful for a person to knowingly and intentionally produce, manufacture, or dispense, or to possess with intent to produce, manufacture, or dispense a controlled or counterfeit substance. You can't even produce the fake pills either now. So, some places you get in, a lesser amount of trouble if for it's counterfeit, but it's like, don't be having these counterfeit pills. This is how people are dying, Kim. Okay, distribute a control or counterfeit substance, or to agree, consent, offer, or arrange to distribute a control or counterfeit substance. Possess a control or counterfeit substance with intent to distribute, or engage in a continuing criminal enterprise like RICO, or this drug ring that NBA YoungBoy had going on. He pled guilty. Okay. Engage in a continuing criminal enterprise where the person participates, directs, or engages in conduct that results in a violation of this chapter. Okay. Utah Drug Paraphernalia Act, blah, 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 blah. Okay. The violation is a part of a continuing series of 2 or more violations of this chapter. Okay. What is this? Oh, Clandestine Drug Lab Act. Okay. On separate occasions that are undertaken in concert with 5 or more persons. You got to have a team of 5 or more, with respect to whom the person occupies a position of organizer, supervisor, or any other position of management. So it's, it's ranks to this, it's levels to this, okay? There are levels to this, okay? If you have a crew of 5 or more people and everyone is being assigned, positions, Tommy goes, y'all get it. We watch enough of these shows, the narcos and all that, to know everybody got to play their role. But if you are organizer, okay, if you're a supervisor like a leader or any other position, like y'all, come on, who is the manager? Can I speak to your manager? Who's the supervisor? This counterfeit pill I just got, I thought this was oxycodone. Clearly, this is fentanyl. Where's the manager, Karen? Where is the manager? Okay. This is so crazy. I like Utah. A person convicted of violating subsection 1A with respect to a substance or a counterfeit of a substance classified as Schedule 1 or 2, a controlled substance analog, or gamma hydroxybutyric acid, break it down, it's phonics, okay? As listed in Schedule 3, is guilty of a second-degree felony, punishable by imprisonment for not more than 15 years, and upon a second or subsequent conviction, is guilty of a first-degree felony. Okay. A substance or a counterfeit of a substance classified as Schedule 3 or 4, or marijuana, or a substance listed as in Section 58-37-4.2 is guilty of a third-degree felony, and upon a second or subsequent conviction is guilty of a second-degree felony. A substance or a counterfeit of a substance classified as Schedule 4 is guilty of a Class A misdemeanor, and upon a second or subsequent conviction is guilty of a third-degree felony. Now, we don't need to know all this when we take our test. We need to know the drug classes. We need to know you can get in trouble if you ain't got the stuff labeled right. We need to know that, okay? And we need to know the drugs listed in, okay? But this is interesting information to, whatever. Except as provided in subsection 1C2. A person who has been convicted of a violation of subsection 1A, 2, or 3 may be sentenced to imprisonment for an indeterminate term as described in subsection 1B and title blah, blah, blah. Okay? So these people need to look this stuff up. I think when people be going to jail and they be learning the law, they just be sitting up there reading stuff like this, probably, or whatever applies to, whatever they got going on. I don't know. The court shall how many? What they say about NBA YoungBoy? What was he up against? How much was his max? I feel like I heard 45 or something like that. Or maybe I'm thinking about 46 counts. I can't remember. But I think y'all let me know. Do y'all think NBA YoungBoy may have been inspired, or his attorneys may have been inspired by this no-low plea by Young Thug? And do y'all put a 1 in the chat? Put a 1 in the chat. Because it's like, all of a sudden, here we go, NBA YoungBoy Because it's like, you guilty of some of this. You guilty of, to be honest, he was guilty of all of it. Okay. But he changed his plea to no contest. At first, I'm thinking he was going out not guilty, and he already know he was guilty. They already had him. Put a 1 in the chat if y'all think that this and I think I think we might be starting to hear this no low and no low contendere and no contest. We might be hearing this a little bit more. I'm gonna look there to see what that means exactly. Well, we kind of know what it means. We'll Google it. Okay. Anyway, what did I say? Okay. Did I read this? Impose? Okay. They should do what? 2nd-degree felony. If the trier, is that what that is? That word look weird. Of fact finds beyond a reasonable doubt that during the commission or furtherance, heard this word, furtherance of the violation, the person intentionally or knowingly, A, used, drew, or exhibited a dangerous weapon. Oh, if they got the GUNs as well as the drugs. Okay. As the term is defined in section 76-10-501. That is not a firearm. Okay, not the GUNs. They talking about the switchblades and things like that. Do people have switchblades? Y'all know these old men be carrying them things. They say can't put a knife back in their boot till they got blood on it. That's what they say. I got that out of 40-year-old virgin. If I take this knife out of my boot, I can't put it back till I got blood on it. Okay, anyway. What did I say? Okay, distributed a firearm as the term is defined in this section, or possessed a firearm with intent to distribute the firearm. It's like you said, I mean, it got all go together. Gotta have them protection if you got all that. Okay. Notwithstanding subsection 1C2, a court may suspend the indeterminate prison term for a person convicted under subsection 1C2 if the court details on the record the reasons why it is in the interest of justice not to impose an indeterminate prison term, makes a finding on the record, blah, 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 blah. Let's see what else. What else? Okay. 7 years. What is this? 1st-degree felony, punishable by imprisonment, not less than 7 years, which may be for life. What? A person convicted of violating subsection 1A4 is guilty of a 1st-degree felony, punishable by imprisonment for an indeterminate term of not less than 7 years, and which may be for life. I don't understand what that means. 7 years. How 7 years or maybe life? I don't understand. 15 years and which may be for life. What does that part mean? Is it up to? I don't like your word in Utah. Life if the trier fact determines that the defendant knew or reasonably should have known that any subordinate under subsection 1A, 4B was under 18 years old. They like, don't be having these underage individuals working in your drug ring, okay? The administrative office of the court shall report to the Division of Professional Licensing the name, case number, date of conviction, and if known, the date of birth of each person convicted. Okay. Let's see, what else? Prohibited Acts B, penalties and reporting. So people like me who be like, I don't want to tell it. I just don't want to be in it. I got to tell it. Okay. It is unlawful for a person knowingly and intentionally to possess or use a controlled substance analog or a controlled substance unless it was obtained under a valid prescription or order directly from a practitioner while acting in the course of the person's professional practice or as otherwise authorized by this chapter. So if y'all want to know, if you get caught with these drugs and you do not have a prescription, a valid prescription from a valid doctor, then you're gonna be in trouble. It's unlawful. So, but I mean, I feel like they need to give us a number. Like if I got 2 Xanax if y'all got 2 Xanax that you got from your uncle, your auntie, or you got 1 oxycodone, or you got 5 of them from you bought them from somebody grandma who ain't taking them, or y'all they kept their pills when they passed away and now they selling them. So we need to know, like, if you get caught with 1 or how many grams or how many whatever, or if you get caught with 5 or 10 or you got full 30-day supply. I mean, how much trouble am I looking at? Okay. Okay, what did I say? For an owner, is that it? I be skipping. For an owner, tenant, licensee, or a person in control of a building, room, tenement, vehicle, boat, aircraft, or other. See, if y'all be trying to be slick. Like, this ain't no vehicle. This is a boat. They like boat, aircraft, or other place knowingly and intentionally to permit them to be occupied by persons unlawfully possessing. Oh, if you let them stay at your house, is that what they saying? Or let you wait. I don't know what drugs these people got up in here. I just, you might be renting a room out to them. You got these, what you call these places? The B&Bs. For an owner, tenant, licensee, like me, I have a license, or a person in control of a building, like the place I work, room, tenement, vehicle, boat, aircraft, or other place knowingly and intentionally to permit them to be occupied by persons unlawfully possessing, using, so they can't be like having it on them, they can't be actively smoking it, or distributing, selling controlled substances like the daycare in New York, in any of those locations. Oh my goodness. See this, you got to report this stuff. Because they like, you ain't got no excuse. You can't act like you didn't know it was in there. Because they using it. You know it. It's like, yeah. For a person knowingly and intentionally to possess an altered or forged prescription or written order for controlled substance. It's like, what you doing with that prescription pad? My brother stole this from the eye doctor. My brother stole this from, I don't know where they be stealing prescription pads from. I gotta be getting them. Doctors don't even be leaving them in there like that no more. A lot of stuff is electronic now too. But if you got it, or like I got this stack of posters up in here, and be like, oh, somebody's left a prescription pad up here when they came in here. I'm like, oh, I didn't know that. Like, oh, but it's on you, so you in trouble. A person convicted of violating subsection 2A1 with respect to marijuana. Okay, we love, I mean, are people smoking weed anymore? Because to be honest, over this last year or so, however long it's been, I don't know how long I've been on here, too long. But anyway, I've done a lot of these, drug situations. Of course, somebody always getting drugged around here. I tell y'all that on every stream, somebody's getting drugged, somebody's using a drug. This is a drug channel, okay? We do all things drug related, illegal drugs, prescription drugs, drugs, okay? It's pills, potions, and poisons, okay? But anyway, we don't hear a whole lot about marijuana. Are people even using weed like that? I haven't had any cases or situationships that I could think of where it's just like, the leading man is marijuana. Y'all let me know. Are people still smoking weed? Or that's just, throwback? Like the white cocaine. You gotta have pink cocaine, got the 2C, the 2CB. We'll put up the chemical name, the 2CB. The 2C, they gotta have that, and promethazine with codeine, which it's getting a little bit rare now anyway too. And then people making up their own drinks, YSL slime drinks. It's not a whole lot of talk about weed. Maybe because it's being legalized in a lot of places now. I don't know. Okay, what's a person convicted? Okay, marijuana. If the count is 100 pounds or more, is guilty of a second-degree felony. A substance classified in Schedule 1 or 2 or a controlled substance. See, this is the thing about Utah. They like it's Schedule 1 or 2. And maybe we're gonna get into it further, but they don't really place a lot of emphasis on 4 and 5. 3 came up earlier, but they don't. Wonder why they ain't that hard on 4 and 5. Because I told you we think like one by itself, 2, and then 3 through 5. You know, those all go together. Okay, so anyway, substance classified as Schedule 1 or 2 or a controlled substance analog is guilty of a Class A misdemeanor on a first or second conviction and on a third or subsequent conviction if each prior offense was committed within 7 years before the date of the offense upon which the current conviction is based and guilty of a third degree, blah, blah, blah. Uh-oh. Sorry, y'all. Okay, anyway, let's keep moving. Let's skip down some. What else? They got prohibited act C. Okay, so let's see. It's unlawful for a person knowingly and intentionally to use in the course of the manufacture or distribution of a controlled substance a license number which is fictitious, revoked, suspended, or issued to another person, or for the purpose of obtaining a controlled substance to assume the title of or represents oneself to be a manufacturer, wholesaler, apothecary, physician, dentist, veterinarian, or other authorized person. That's what NBA YoungBoy did. He did that too. Because he was impersonating a doctor. He was. Okay. He did all this. He did identity theft. He did, what is this? What we just said? Being a fake doctor. Forged prescriptions. He did all of this. Sometimes when you look at it like this, he'd be like, oh, they got away with it. They got off. They got off, good. Based on, what the crime they actually committed. But anyway, it's unlawful also to acquire or obtain possession of, to procure. Yeah, they ain't gonna let me make it. It's in my house guests and house pets. Or obtain possession of, or to procure the administration of a controlled substance by misinterpretation or failure by the person to disclose receiving a controlled substance from another source. Fraud, forgery, deception, subterfuge, alteration of a prescription or written order for a controlled substance, or the use of a false name or address. He did this too. He really was like playing a dangerous game up there in Utah, because everything he did, he's supposed to be got some serious, Okay. To make a false or forged prescription or written order for a controlled substance, he did this. Or to utter the same, or to alter a prescription or written order issued or written under the terms of this chapter. To make, distribute, or possess a punch, die, plate, stone, or other thing designed to print, imprint, or reproduce the trademark, trade name, or other identifying mark, imprint, or device of another, or any likeness of any of the foregoing upon any drug or container or labeling so as to render a drug a counterfeit controlled substance. Don't have the controlled substances, the counterfeit controlled substances, okay? So if they catch you with the plates, the punch, the dye, the stone, anything that you using to like chisel out this dang on M's on there, or the 30s for the perk 30s, or make a score on this side, or punch, whatever. You got any of that stuff, they catch it on you. They like, oh, you trying to make some counterfeit pills? I got you, buddy. We got you. Don't turn around. Okay. I'm not gonna read this other. Okay, prohibited acts D. Notwithstanding other provisions of this section, blah, blah, blah. A person not authorized under this chapter who commits any act, blah, 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 blah. What are we talking about? Conviction, whatever. In a public or private element. Oh, here we go. We're talking about underage individuals right now. Okay. In a public or private elementary or secondary school or on the grounds of any of those schools during the hours of 6 a.m. through 10 p.m. What you doing at school that late? Anyway. Is it just me? I'd be crazy. Don't be up there, McGruff the crime dog gonna catch you if you come into them schools, okay? In a public or private vocational school or post-secondary institution or on the grounds of any of those schools or institutions during the hours of 6 a.m. through 10 p.m. Okay, seriously though, what's with the hours? My office hours are from. If you know what my office hours are from, put it in the chat. Do you know my office hours are from? And if you know what movie that's from, too, put it in the chat. I want to see how good y'all are. This is easy work. Y'all should know that. What are the office hours? Okay. In or on the grounds of a preschool or child care facility during the preschool's or facility's hours of operations. See that that case in New York, okay, where the lady had somebody child got exposed to fentanyl in the daycare, and there was a loss of life. Okay. In a public park, amusement park, you can't be selling drugs at the park no more. This is not the 1980s and 90s. Okay. Arcade, recreational center, when the public or amusement park, arcade, or recreation center is open to the public. Okay. So when it's closed, you can be out there with your stuff. You people gotta be careful with these. In or on the grounds of a house of worship as defined. Don't be having the pills at the church, Lord. The church, Lord. Sorry, y'all. Hallelujah. Amen. Don't be having the drugs out there. If they catch you with the drugs on church ground, you ain't gonna be no asking God for forgiveness or talking to the priest or whoever. I'm Baptist, you know. We go straight to the source where I'm from. Okay. What did I say? Oh, and the grounds of the library when it's open. You can't go to the library with your drugs. Where can you use your drugs? If you can't go to Bella Noche, where can you go? Okay. In the presence of a person younger than 18, regardless of where the act occurs, if you doing drugs around kids, you in trouble. If you're doing drugs around grown people, it depends on where you're doing them at. Okay. But if they're underage, you're gonna be in trouble. Okay. For the purpose of facilitating, arranging, or causing the transport, delivery, or distribution of a substance in violation of this section to an inmate. So if your husband or somebody is in prison or awaiting trial, he's on trial, whatever, something like that, you can't be using this around them or taking this stuff to them. Okay. Inmate on the grounds of a correctional if they're in a correctional facility. But what if they're in the courthouse? As defined in this section. Okay. Person convicted under the blah, 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 5 years, not less than. Okay. This is a lot of this. Okay. Let's see. Violation. This is a lot. I got ADHD. Let's see. Civil or criminal liability may not be opposed in this section if you register. Okay. If you got a license, you can do it. You can do whatever you want with these drugs. Defendant shall provide written notice and intent to claim affirmative defense. Okay. This is some stuff that I ain't got to get into. How far is this page? The offense is referred to as blah, 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 a legislative body, political, whoever. If a minor is under 18, found by the court to have violated this section, the court may order the minor to complete a screening. Okay, you're just going to test them for drugs. An assessment as defined. What? I don't know. Understand this. An educational series. They got to watch some movies and do some CEs. I don't know. Substance use disorder. Okay, they're gonna put them in a treatment facility. Okay, Utah, that's what's up. All right, let's get them out of here. What y'all think? What do y'all think? NBA YoungBoy? Okay, after this, he got to go to another part of Utah, Weber, Utah, I guess. I don't know. He's got some more crimes he has to answer for up there. Then I think he still got some stuff going on in Louisiana. that y'all Mayweather stuff still pending too, I think. But right now, they're gonna let the feds handle him because you know that's the only one who can handle a Louisiana animal like that. That's what they be saying, these Louisianimals, okay? He probably something though. I look at him and tell I know these folks. Anyway, so yeah, he got to do that. So Utah, like, you know, yeah, get your life together, young man. You know, we're gonna pray for you. We're gonna let you go. Okay. They got to give him a little pep talk. And they're like, hope you get it straight. He 25. My mom, she's be like, men ain't really grown till they 35. And I'm like 40 at this point. Like they need to be 40 because 35, they still kind of acting up a little bit. So I don't think that he's quite done. I don't think that he's done. I don't think that he is done. Okay. Y'all put the ones in the chat because y'all agree with me on whatever I was saying. LB says 1. David says 1. Who's LB? She says, anyone remember that Puff Daddy song where it says 1, 1, 1, 1, 1? She says I must be old too. 40-year-old virgin. That's where that came from. Because him and this like Indian dude and the black dude on there, they kept like getting into it like it worked. Because I feel like they worked at like some kind of store like a Sears or something like that. Do they still have Sears? But it was like an appliance store, like with their TVs and all that kind of stuff. Do they still have those stores? Anyway, and him and that guy, they were talking. He said, I got a knife in my boot and I can't put it back until it has blood on it. They were just joking though, because I don't think they were really fighting like that. But they was always like making these kind of threats. You know, I be saying, I'm like, can't put it there. Yeah, well, if I take it out now, I got it. Only way it can get back in my shoe, it gotta have a little blood on it. Okay. All right. Do I need a prescription to subscribe? No, you don't. It's free. Hit the like too. Okay. Good question. I need to keep up with the questions, guys. Okay. All right. So looks like y'all were getting active in the chat. I appreciate that. But yes. So if do y'all want to come up? Y'all know me. Let me see what time is it. Let's see. I can't tell time on my watch no more. I'd be so used to picking up a cell phone. Is that just me? Okay. All right, so I'm a I dropped the link just to be doing it. Y'all ain't gotta click it. Y'all can ask your questions because you know we're gonna always open up the floor, even if we don't open up the chat. It's gonna be open at the end of each stream, you know, as we near the end of the stream, for y'all to ask any outside questions. I'm not your pharmacist, but I do have information that I can share with y'all. I can do that. Okay. So where are we, guys? Let's see. So I'm gonna stop talking myself through the steps. I'm just gonna do it. I'm gonna talk. I'm like, then click this, then do that, and then paste it here, and boom. All right. Come and talk to me. Y'all know it. I really wanna meet you. Come and talk to me. I really wanna know you. I'm gonna drop the link in the chat. And you know, you guys can click it if you want to. I thought this was a really interesting stream. So that still means that we're not done with NBA YoungBoy. He's still going back to court. He still got to keep going. Okay? He still got to keep going. They got some other stuff on here under this Controlled Substance Act. They got methadone orders, opiate prescription consultations. It's like we have to, you know, offer them in the naloxone. And we really supposed to be monitoring this stuff real close. Like, you've been on this for 6 months. Your doctor ain't changed your dose. He ain't tapering you off it, you know, because it's like you want to try to get them off of it. It's like, man, sometimes we be acting like the doctors. I mean, or like the patient, like, man, he wrote it. The doctor know what they want you to have. I ain't gonna get in there, but you know, we got a duty. See, they saying all this stuff. We got to report whatever's going on, and all that kind of stuff. People don't even know all the stuff pharmacists have to do. Beginning January 24th. Yeah, if they got 50 MMEs, we got all y'all in the naloxone. I really think they need to put some kind of program, implement some type of program for all these, especially these young guys that gotta like be on 50 years of probation and they ain't supposed to be having no kind of drugs, man. And they've been using them for years. They ain't getting off them. What did Kodak Black say? He told y'all, at least he was honest. But he also wasn't in jail. He wasn't arrested. Young Thug, he was in jail. NBA YoungBoy is still in jail. He gonna have to do 27 months. He got to go do that time. What's 27 months? 2 years? Well, Young Thug was in jail for 2 years anyway already. So they could do 2 years. They probably be like, I can do 2. I can sit for 2 years. You know, but when it gets to be like 10, 15, we talking about 45 years, whatever. They like, okay, let's figure something else out. But I think now a lot of them are gonna start. They're gonna start wanting to do that no contest, and they're gonna be like, Judge, you decide. We can't come to no type of agreement. Is that what that is? Is that what that means? What is this? Oh, I want to look up that no low. Let's see what that is. Let's see what. Okay, let's see. It says no law contender, meaning. Did I spell it wrong? Contender. This is like it's wrong. Okay, it's also known as a no contest plea. So, Young Thug, no low. NBA YoungBoy, no contest. It's a legal plea where neither admits nor denies a charge. Is it an alternative to a guilty or not guilty plea? What's some things to know about this? Let's see, show more. Legal effect, no law. It has the same legal effect as a guilty plea. That's what the judge said. But it cannot be used against the defendant in a civil suit. Waiver of trial. The defendant waives the right to a trial and agrees to accept the penalty. Okay. Because it'd be like you wanted to wait on that jury, you might be SOL. Permission. Some states do not allow defendants to ask the court's permission to plead nolo contendere. In federal cases, the court's permission is required. Court discretion. The court has broad discretion to determine whether to allow the plea. Etymology. The phrase comes from Latin and translates to I do not wish to contend. Okay, I like it. Okay. So it appears that you guys do not have any questions. Y'all don't want to come up. And that's perfectly fine with me. Let me get you over here. My guy here. Where are you? That's a good question. Thank you so much. We can go ahead and, we get ready to bring the church to a close, the benediction. Of course, y'all know, y'all could have been anywhere else tonight, but y'all gave me y'all time tonight. I appreciate that. If you're in and out, if you was just in, I appreciate all of it. Y'all know it's always what? L-O-V-E-Y-O-U. I love you. Y'all. I love y'all. I say y'all. I should spell y'all. Y-A-L-L. Y'all think I don't know the rest of the letters. I be knowing them. I be forgetting all of them though, a lot of times. Anyway, it's been my pleasure, guys. I told y'all I'm not going to go too many days without, bringing out the latest drug information. Some of this stuff could be old, but I'm going to bring it to you like only I can, okay? Until next time, guys, what do we need you to do? Everybody who didn't hit the like, y'all can hit it. Hit it for your girl. Hit it one time for your girl. I get up here and I do a little dance for y'all. Hit the like. The like, comment, subscribe, share. What else? Turn on the notifications because I keep coming back. Every week y'all think like, oh, she ain't coming back. It's been 2 days. She ain't coming back. It's been 3 days. She ain't coming back. And then what? The 4th day she rose again. She's the resurrection. Okay, I'm going to stop. It's been fun, y'all. Hit the like button for me and share this. Until the next time I see y'all, what I always say, these prescriptions, they keep piling up. These phones, they never stop ringing. I'm gonna catch y'all in the next video. And so, good night. Bye.